Listen, before you chase anything, before you beg for results, before you start asking life for more, you've got to get brutally honest about one thing. Your asterisk internal alignment, that energy on the inside, your focus, your discipline, your mental posture, that's the real engine behind every dream you're trying to bring to life. You can't walk into the world wanting greatness while your mindset is still operating on survival mode. You can't expect clarity when your attention is scattered in 10 different directions. You can't expect momentum when half of you is committed and the other half is negotiating. When you say you want something, the first place that desire has to show up is in your inner world, Every dream you're chasing begins long before the action. It begins with conviction, and conviction isn't loud. Conviction is quiet, steady, and rooted. It shows up in the decisions you make when nobody's watching. It shows up in the way you talk to yourself when you feel tired, discouraged, or lost. You can't build a powerful life with a weak inner voice. You can't build consistency when your energy is constantly reacting to circumstances instead of commanding them. If you don't get your internal energy right, then every obstacle will feel like a wall, every delay will feel like a denial, and every challenge will feel personal. But when you shift your inner energy, those same obstacles become instructions. Those delays become preparation. Those challenges become reminders that you're built for this. Some of you keep saying, I'm trying. You don't need to try. You need to align When your heart, your habits, your focus, and your attitude line up with the future you're trying to create, everything starts moving differently. You start seeing things clearer. You start waking up with purpose instead of pressure. You stop needing motivation because you've built momentum. And momentum isn't magic. It's the result of energy that's been disciplined and directed. When you learn to control your internal world, you start controlling the pace, the flow, and the outcome of your external world. You've got to protect your energy like your life depends on it, because it does. Your energy is your first resource, your first investment, your first signal to the universe that you're serious about where you're going. If your energy is complaining, your results will reflect it. If your energy is hesitation, your life will feel stuck. But if your energy is focused, intentional, and unbothered by distractions, doors start opening that were once invisible. Not because the world changed, but because you changed. You raised your internal frequency, and life had no choice but to meet you there. And listen, shifting your energy doesn't mean you won't get tired. It doesn't mean things won't hurt. It doesn't mean the journey suddenly becomes soft. What it means is that you stop giving temporary moments permanent power. You stop letting fear negotiate your potential. You stop shrinking because you finally understand who you were designed to be. When your energy is locked in, distractions lose their influence. When your energy is locked in, excuses sound foreign. When your energy is locked in, the dream becomes less of a wish and more of a responsibility. This is where the transformation starts. Not with a plan, not with a strategy, not with motivation, but with a shift on the inside. When you align your energy with your purpose, the world starts treating you differently. Opportunities recognize you. People respond to you. Your own future starts pulling you forward. Everything changes the moment you decide to change. And that's the moment everything you want begins to move toward you. Because your energy finally tells the truth about what you're chasing, you've got to understand something. Your dream is not waiting on more talent, more resources, more time, or more validation. It's waiting on your intensity. Not the kind of intensity that burns bright for a day. and disappears the moment things get uncomfortable. I'm talking about that deep, unwavering, unshakable fire that refuses to die, even when life is pressing on your chest. Some of you want big things with low energy. You want elevation with average effort. You want transformation with part-time passion. It doesn't work like that. Everything you want will demand a version of you that you haven't fully stepped into yet, and the bridge between who you are and who you're becoming is built with intensity. Intensity means you stop treating your dream like an option and start treating it like an obligation. It means you stop waiting for the right mood and start moving with the right mindset. It means you don't just show up when it's convenient. You show up because there's something in you that refuses to go back to the life you're trying to escape. You don't get to the next level by being casual. You get there by being committed. You get there by being the kind of person who can't sleep on themselves anymore. And intensity isn't measured by noise. It's measured by consistency. It's measured by how you respond when everything is stacked against you. Most people can be intense when things feel good, when life is smooth, when the path is clear, but the ones who win are the ones whose intensity rises when the conditions fall. They don't collapse when pressure hits, they compress. They don't shrink when fear shows up. They sharpen. They don't slow down for storms, they adjust their stance and keep moving forward. There are moments in your life when you can't wait for inspiration, support, or reassurance. You've got to become your own spark. You've got to create your own ignition. You've got to be able to walk into your own struggle and say, I'm not leaving until I get something out of this. That's intensity. And when you live with that kind of internal drive, your environment no longer determines your progress. Your feelings no longer dictate your effort. Your circumstances no longer control your direction. You become the one steering, pushing, and defining the pace. Some of you have the dream, the talent, the potential, but you lack that fierce, relentless, all-in energy that forces life to pay attention. Life doesn't respond to lukewarm effort. It doesn't respond to halfway commitment. It doesn't respond to maybe. It responds to certainty. It responds to effort that won't fold. It responds to a spirit that says, I'm willing to give everything I've got, and then I'm willing to give more. That's when doors begin to open. That's when opportunities recognize your name. That's when people start seeing what you've been carrying all along. Because when your intensity rises, everything around you rises with it. Your actions, your standards, your expectations, your discipline, they all elevate. And once you turn that level of intensity into your normal, you become unstoppable, not because the journey got easier, but because you got stronger. And that's the moment your dream stops running from you and starts running toward you. You've got to realize that protecting your name isn't about ego, fame, or applause. It's about building a reputation that walks into the room before you do. It's about carrying yourself in a way that makes people trust you, respect you, and know exactly what they're getting when your name is attached to something. Your name is your character. Your name is your consistency. Your name is the evidence of how you move through life when nobody's watching. And when you understand the weight of that, you stop playing with your potential. You stop letting emotions control your behavior. You stop allowing temporary feelings to create permanent stains on your name, because at the end of the day, people don't remember what you intended to do. They remember what you consistently did. They remember how you showed up. They remember how you handled adversity. They remember whether you were dependable or unpredictable. They remember if your effort matched your words. Your name becomes a story, and every day you're adding another sentence, another chapter, another example of who you really are. The question is, what story are you writing? What legacy are you building? What image of yourself are you reinforcing by the choices you make? And this is why champions take their name seriously. They know that once your name holds weight, opportunities find you. Doors open for you. People speak for you when you're not in the room. Favor follows you. But when your name becomes unreliable, when your name becomes associated with excuses, inconsistency, laziness, or drama, people stop trusting you. They stop depending on you. They stop believing in you. A champion protects their name because they understand that credibility is currency, and once you lose it, the comeback costs twice as much. That's why you've got to move like your name represents a standard. You've got to live in a way that says, if my name is on it, it's excellence. If my name is on it, it's effort. If my name is on it, it's intentional. You don't cut corners. You don't slack. You don't let your emotions sabotage your reputation. You rise above pettiness. You rise above distractions. You rise above anything that threatens the value of your name, not because you're trying to impress the world, but because you refuse to disappoint the version of yourself you're trying to become. And protecting your name means taking responsibility, real responsibility, not blaming others, not making excuses. Not pointing fingers. It means standing on your words, owning your actions, correcting your mistakes, and doing better when you know better. It means aligning your behavior with your destiny instead of your circumstances. You can't build a powerful name if you're always shifting blame, always running from accountability, always choosing comfort over character. Every time you show up with integrity, every time you honor your commitments, every time you push through when you don't feel like it, you add value to your name. And one day you wake up and realize that your name has become your greatest asset, because now when people hear it, they don't just think of you, they think of excellence. And that's how champions stay unforgettable. There comes a moment when you realize that protecting your name isn't a one-time decision, it's a lifestyle. It's a standard you commit to every single day. And when you understand that, you'll start living with a level of discipline and focus that separates you from everyone else. Because the truth is, anybody can be good once. Anybody can show up strong when they feel motivated. Anybody can perform when life is easy, but a champion protects their name by being great on repeat, by showing up even when it hurts, by staying locked in even when distractions come knocking, by doing the right thing when nobody's clapping, when nobody's watching, when nobody's praising their effort. You've got to understand that consistency is what makes your name powerful. It's not the big moments, it's the small ones. It's the choices you make when you're tired, when you're stressed, when you're frustrated, when you're tempted to drop your standards just to fit in or get a shortcut. Every time you take the easy way out, you weaken your name. Every time you choose comfort over purpose, you chip away at your reputation. But every time you push yourself to do the hard thing, every time you honor your commitments, every time you hold yourself accountable, you reinforce a level of excellence that becomes impossible to ignore. People respect a name they can depend on, a name that shows up, a name that follows through, a name that stands on values, not moods. And when you live with that kind of intention, you don't just protect your name, you elevate it. You turn it into something that inspires trust, inspires belief, inspires confidence. Your name becomes a beacon of reliability, a symbol of dedication, a reflection of the work you've put in. That's why a champion never lets their environment dictate their effort. They never let circumstances rewrite their standards. They never allow their feelings to determine their consistency. They move with purpose, with clarity, with an understanding that their name is connected to every action they take. And protecting your name isn't about perfection, it's about responsibility. It's about owning your flaws, learning from your mistakes, and choosing growth over pride. It's about being big enough to admit when you're wrong and strong enough to correct what needs fixing. That honesty, that humility, those are the things that strengthen your name long term. A champion doesn't pretend to be flawless, they strive to be better. They're constantly evolving, constantly stretching, constantly working to align who they are with who they're becoming. When you live like your name is a legacy, you stop making excuses. You stop settling for good enough. You stop accepting average effort and average discipline. You start moving like everything you touch reflects the future you're building. And that's when life starts shifting. That's when opportunities start appearing. That's when people start connecting your name with greatness instead of potential. Because potential is what you're born with, but a powerful name, that's what you build with discipline, resilience, and unwavering commitment. And once your name carries weight, once it represents excellence everywhere it goes, nobody can take that from you. That's the real victory.